May 2010. I last did a video, I think it was the beginning of October 2009. A couple of days after the premature birth and death of my daughter, Jessica Angel. And to be honest, I haven't looked at the video. I know I did the video um, between her death and her funeral. Well, but I think I basically thanked people for praying for her and stuff. So I thought really about, it's nearly 8 months on now. I'd share some of the things that took place and how what we've been through, my wife and I, has changed our lives, how it's affected us. You know, there's sorry, hit the microphone then. Well, 8 months on since Jessica Angel was born and died. It still, in some ways, seems quite surreal. Most days I'm fine. Generally, my son is, when we go to Jessica's grave, my son is running around the place, making himself a nuisance. I'm so busy telling him off, I don't actually get to think much about it. But when I'm alone by a graveside, which isn't very often, then all the emotions start coming up. It's very true what people say, you know, the pain never goes away. It becomes more manageable. You cope with it, but it never goes. And, you know, I mean, it's different for my wife, and it's different for everyone, really, but, you know, I find every so often I'm going through things, and then it hits me. And I start wondering if it's going to get any better than this. Ever. I know there are people out there in YouTube world who have similar experiences. Some maybe even be facing the prospect of having a child who's seriously or terminally ill, or maybe your child is lying in the incubator in the neonatal unit, being born prematurely. And I know you're questioning, perhaps you're questioning where God is at this time. I know I was. So I went for a whole weekend. You know, Jessica was born on the Friday, and it was now Tuesday morning. We'd made the decision basically the day before. We basically, everything had packed in, the kidneys were packed in. She'd had heavy brain bleeds. Um, her stomach was swelling. The intestines were in, this whole all internal organs were in a dreadful state. They completely stopped basically to persist. You know, we could have. They said, you know, you're the parents. If you want us to keep fighting to keep your daughter alive, we will do so. They said, but think of where things were. You know, 4 days have gone by, and the first couple of days, she, you know, for a baby not quite 6 months in development, was holding her on. and then there's the issues with the blood pressure and everything crashed him. So we were faced with the decision to turn off the life support. You know, I had my Bible and I was reading to her at night. I was reading letters of the Bible, you know, Paul's letters, Peter's letters. They said that she could probably hear us, you know, even at this early developmental stage. But then they also said, you know, that because the bleeds in the brain that she couldn't do, that her senses were gone. She'd be blind, whatever. So Tuesday morning, we asked the doctors to switch off the equipment, and they did so, and they pumped her up with morphine so she wouldn't feel any pain at all. And we went back to our parents' room, just asking God, you know, why, where are you? And the nurses came in. They brought our daughter in. The last 3 days had not been kind to her body and her appearance and stuff. She was, well, it was only when we looked at the photos and stuff afterwards we actually saw how contorted she was. We never saw it at the time. And when they took the breathing tube off her and we just held her in our arms and they left us on our own, it was only then that we found out just how close God was to us. Because I had this, like, it wasn't a numb feeling over me, I just felt nothing. I've been so emotional, we've been crying most of the morning, and then it was like a cool breeze suddenly just coming through my lungs, and it was the absence of feeling that stunned me. Thinking, what is this? And my wife looked at me with our dying daughter in her arms, and she said, "Do you feel that?" And I knew that God that our dear loving Father had not abandoned us. He hadn't given us the miracle we'd hoped for, but He'd given us something different. And this wave of peace just came into both of our lives, and my wife hasn't had the experiences and the closeness to God through the Holy Spirit as I have. And I know I dare not say anything. And she said, "Do you feel that?" And we spent 2 or 3 hours with our daughter as she gently and peacefully and slowly just passed out of our hands and into God's hands, into the arms of Jesus. And there she went.